Uh, Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday, April 30th, 2024 Administrative Matters meeting. Glad that you're all here. We'll have a good morning together. As is our tradition, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first order of business is public comment, and it does not appear that anyone has signed up for public comment. I'll check one more time with, before we begin, I should introduce ourselves so you know who you're dealing with. Let's rewind the tape a little bit. My name is John Kafalis, Commissioner from District 1, currently the Chair, joined by my Commissioner colleagues, Kristen Stevens from District 2, Jody Shattuck McNally from District 3. Across the way, we have Elizabeth Carter with the Clerk and Recorder's Office, taking notes as well as making sure that this public meeting is recorded. Lorinda Volker, our County Manager, Tom Clayton from our Public Affairs, Sarah Martin from our County Commissioner's Office. So, got that right. Public comment, no one has signed up. Sarah, has anyone registered as of yesterday?
No, Commissioner.
All right, then, thank you. Before we close public comment, just want to give folks another opportunity. If you didn't sign up, you'd like to offer public comment on something that's important to you, that you'd like us to know about, this is your opportunity. Hello. All right, then, we'll close public comment. And moving right along, approval of the minutes. I will ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally if you would offer the proper motion.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the minutes for the week of April 22nd, 2024.
Thank you. That's a proper motion. Any further discussion, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Our next item is the upcoming schedule review. Sarah, that one's yours.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for May 6th through the 11th, 2024. On Monday, May 6th, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be a work session for Regional Housing Authorities updates in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the hearing room on the first floor. The 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. land use items was canceled. And from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., there will be land use items with Development Review Team. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Tuesday, May 7th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be administrative direction to county management in the Arrowhead Lake Conference Room on the fourth floor. From 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Rodeo Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the McKee 4-H Youth and Community Building at 5280 Arena Circle in Loveland or virtually via Zoom. From 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Parks Advisory meeting at the Horsetooth Area Information Center at 4200 West County Road 38E in Fort Collins. On Wednesday, May 8th, from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the Fort Collins Rescue Mission Capital Campaign Breakfast at Ginger and Baker at 359 Linden Street in Fort Collins. From 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will attend the Neighbor to Neighbor Loveland Community Breakfast at the Life Center at 1511 East 11th Street in Loveland. From 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Workforce Development Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it's in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. From 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will present at the Water Literate Leaders of Northern Colorado session at the Community Foundation of Northern Colorado at 4745 Wheaton Drive in Fort Collins. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual National Association of Counties Energy, Environment, and Land Use meeting. From 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Agricultural Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be in the Lake Estes Conference Room on the 3rd floor or virtually via Zoom. From 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., there will be land use items with the Development Review Team. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be in the hearing room on the 1st floor or virtually via Zoom. On Thursday, May 9th, from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fort Collins Downtown Development Authority Board meeting at the Enosphere Ventures at 320 East Vine Drive, Suite 101 in Fort Collins. From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens may attend the Common Sense Institute Supply and Demand, Diagnosing Colorado's Skills and Attainment Gap event at Magic Rat Live Music at 111 Chestnut Street in Fort Collins. From 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Larimer County Interagency Oversight Group meeting. From 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Colorado Communities for Climate Action Committee meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Office on Aging Advisory Council meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it'll be at 1501 Blue Spruce Drive in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Finance Committee meeting. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally will attend the Community Foundation of Northern Colorado Celebration of Philanthropy at the Embassy Suites Loveland at 4705 Clydesdale Parkway in Loveland. From 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Raise the Roof on the Wellington Community Service Center and Food Bank at Wellington Manor at 3922 Cleveland Avenue in Wellington. On Friday, May 10th, there will be an open schedule. On Saturday, May 11th, from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the LaPorte community. Guest and topic will be announced prior to the meeting. This will be at Mio My Pie at 3310 West County Road 54G in LaPorte. And that's it.
Thank you, Sarah. Colleagues, do you have any questions or adjustments? Nor do I. Thank you very much. Okay. So we have our consent agenda, and I'll quickly explain. The consent agenda includes items that are administrative in nature. There's no perceived controversy about these particular items, and we generally go through them very quickly. And we have the option of pulling something off the consent agenda, the commissioners do. And if so, then we would have a discussion item. If not, we would offer a motion to approve the package in its entirety. And the details of these consent agenda items can be found on the website, on the county website. So with that in mind, I'll go through the consent agenda. And you'll be happy to know that it's not that long. The first item is an agreement, intergovernmental agreement between Larimer County Natural Resources and the Larimer County Weed District. This is the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, has requested a lease for a portion of the expansion that is located out at the ranch. They will be leasing this. The total dollar amount is $600,000. And the terms of this agreement, this lease agreement, are from January 1st of this year through December 31st of 2043. So there will be annual payments of $30,000 in order to lease this additional space for the Department of Natural Resources out at the ranch. The next item is an appointment, a recommended appointment to the US 34 Transportation Management Organization Board. This is to our colleague, Commissioner Kristen Stevens, to be appointed to that board, which is looking at transportation options for the Highway 34 corridor. I believe Greeley, perhaps even Evans, all the way up to Estes Park eventually. Yes. So this is, we are recommending her appointment to represent the county on this particular board. The next item, letters of support, US 287, Highway 287, corridor safety improvements, a letter of support from the county This is to support the Colorado Department of Transportation, which is applying for funds, additional funds to implement some of the identified highway safety options for Highway 287. I think most folks know that from Ted's Place on up to the Wyoming border, that road is a dangerous road, and they've undertaken a study. The study is available online, and they've identified, I believe, 15 projects, and they have some funding, but indeed, more funding is needed to complete these projects. And so that's a letter of support from us. The next is liquor licenses, renewals, etc. Liquor license renewal. This is for the Inlet Bay Marina. And the license type is a fermented malt beverage on off-premises license type, and that's approval and issuance. The next item is liquor license renewal for Wedgwood Wedding and Banquet Center. This is located in LaPorte, Colorado. It's a tavern license, approval and issuance. The third liquor license matter is a special event permit, 6% Colorado Medieval Festival, Creepy Walk in the Woods. You all can look that up. And this is, again, for a special event in order to serve adult beverages at 6% approval and issuance. Moving on to miscellaneous. The first item is a findings and order. This is regarding the Horsetooth Tavern. We recently approved a license, a liquor license, hotel and restaurant license for this establishment up the Poudre Canyon. Actually, no, I correct myself. West County Road 38, near the south end of Horsetooth Reservoir. The next items are, there are 4 stipulations, adjustments to the property tax value. These are all for the 2023 tax year. These are worked out. There is an agreement between the assessor's office, the property owner, and the clerk and recorder's office is also involved. And there are 4 stipulations, tax year 23, actually a total of 6. So that is all that is on the consent agenda for today. Do either of my colleagues wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? All right, then, I think I'd like to ask Commissioner Stevens if you would offer the motion.
I will, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the consent agenda for April 30th, 2024.
Thank you. That's a proper motion. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. In a moment, we'll go on to comments. We have a commissioner guest. We have folks from the Poudre River Library District, the director, etc. But I did want to mention or ask the 2 discussion items. One of them is to honor and thank the person who won the I Voted sticker contest. And given that that person may need to go back to school, and they are on the discussion item for number 2, if that would help you to get back into the classroom, although I'm sure you could miss a little bit extra time, because this is experiential learning, I'm more than happy to switch up the order so we could do your thing first, and then we would go to the mental health proclamation. Pardon?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, but we also have a guest today, Diane Lafayette.
I haven't lost sight of that.
Okay.
I just want to do this ahead of time. Would that be helpful to the folks here supporting Julie, the student? To switch, all I'm asking is to switch the order. You guys, after we do the commissioner's guest and the presentation from the library folks, we would go into the presentation from our clerk and recorder's office and be able to honor your work, and I know we will take pictures and all of that. Will that be helpful? Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll switch up the order. At this time, I'd like to invite Diane and your colleague, Please join us if you would be kind enough to identify yourself and tell us why you're here.
Hi, I'm Diane LaPierre. I'm the Executive Director of the Poudre River Public Library District, and I'm here with my colleague Katie Alman, who's the manager of our communications and marketing team. And we are here to deliver our annual report to the community. So glad to be here. And slides are up, so I'll just say slide when it's time for the next one. Can we get to the beginning, though? That's not the beginning. It starts with Poudre Library is the space to be. There we go. Okay, great. And that says who I am. Again, so just here to reflect on 2023 and also let you know what's going on this year, 2024, and what's ahead of us. Just proud that we are in such a strong position and we have such a passionate staff, so such loyal customers, our committed volunteers, partners, and funders that are helping us do our essential work in our community. Also happy to report that we are continuing to be in a strong position, very engaged and ready to uplift our community this year and beyond. So I'm going to give you a few highlights from the last 15 months and a brief roadmap of what is ahead. Next slide. More than ever before, we're focused on creating library spaces with welcoming amenities where every individual who walks through our doors can thrive. For some people, that means a comfortable place to sit. For others, it may be seeing themselves reflected in book displays and stories in our collections. And for others, it's having library tools and resources that are accessible and compatible with their needs. Last year, we rebranded, which, in and of itself is not so exciting, but we hope this is exciting. We really wanted a new brand that would reflect this concept of our welcoming spaces and have infused our rebrand idea throughout a number of not just our logo and our colors, but in a lot of the ways that we are creating spaces moving forward. This looks like creating those spaces where everyone belongs and where people can pursue their unique interests, where we empower the community to learn, grow, and thrive. The new brand matches what we continue to hear from the community and what the library has become over the years, a vibrant and essential center for learning, inspiration, and engagement, a space to be. We are a community hub. Some of our numbers that reflect this sense of a community hub are on this slide. As you all know, the pandemic created a disruption, but it also, coming out of that, created a new momentum for Poudre libraries to evolve and serve our community in new ways. We've become a multi-use destination for people, allowing users to reclaim their experiences and interactions that had been limited in the past years. We're seeing people more interested in coming out to visit and use their libraries, to participate in our programs and reconnect with each other. In 2023, the library responded with more programs and events held at our libraries and out in the community. You can see program attendees 2022 to 2023 actually went up 76%. So that's individuals who are getting back out into the public spaces and interacting with each other again. Slide. We also continue to be focused on equity, diversity, and inclusion. How our spaces are designed, managed, and programmed directly contributes to people's shared sense of community and connection. Throughout 2023, we evaluated all of our physical spaces as well as our digital spaces to take a look at how we show up for the community with an eye towards inclusion, accessibility, and usability. The library partnered with Isaac of Northern Colorado for their 2023 Adelante Youth Fellowship Program. This is a great example of how we are supporting and creating work opportunities. This workforce program places young adult students from historically marginalized communities with host sites throughout the community to offer professional development, leadership, training, and workforce skills. Over 2 months this past summer, the library hosted 3 young adults for a total of 288 fellowship hours. One of the participants is now a staff member at our Council Tree Library, while another is an active volunteer. We're looking forward to participating in Isaac's 2024 fellowship program again this summer. Creating our welcoming spaces for all also includes our digital spaces. Digital equity is an area within EDI that the library is working to improve. From the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, digital literacy and access to the internet are considered a super social determinant of health. They're the backbone for all other social determinants of health, including economic stability, healthcare systems, community and social context, food, education, neighborhood, and physical environment. Poudre Libraries has seen an increase in people using our computers and technologies. This includes individuals who checked out Chromebooks and hotspots and who use in-library PCs and laptops. In addition to digital access, the library also provides computer and tech classes in English and in Spanish that introduce computer skills to and online cybersecurity. We also offer drop-in tech help hours and various online learning platforms like LinkedIn Learning and North Star Digital Literacy. Finally, we continue to have a strong partnership with Larimer County and the Digital Roots for Job Seekers programs. We're not just about what happens within our walls. We also connect with people where they are throughout our district. Our community needs have changed over the years, so we're adjusting to how we serve you. We're getting out and about with our mobile library, and we're also finding other ways to bring library staff, programs, and resources directly into our neighborhoods and community spaces. This photo is from a summer reading program at the farm at Lee Martinez Park. And here is Evie. A year ago, we even brought Evie when I did the report to the community. She is 1 year old, hard to believe. Evie, the mobile library, we celebrated her first birthday on April 22nd and introduced our new zero-emissions electric mobile library, the first of its kind in Colorado and the Rocky Mountain region. In addition, Evie has allowed us to expand delivery of library services to more remote locations in our district, to under-resourced communities, and to individuals who are unable to access our physical library locations. This includes Livermore Elementary School, Oak Brook Senior Living, various farmers markets, and other community events. In 2023, just the first 8 months of service, we traveled over 2,000 miles in Evie, delivered 193 programs, and over 10,000 people had access to her service and programs. And we checked out over 6,000 items, which is remarkable considering it's a very small space, but we really target what we put in EB when we go out to the community. We have really been enhancing the social services offerings that we provide within the library. This is part of connecting with people where they are. Our community collaborations and partnerships like we have with the summer mobile programs are key to the library's continued success. So at Old Town Library, just to spotlight a few of those, we see an increasing trend, as similar throughout the country, for public libraries, for seeing more individuals who have unique needs, mental health issues, substance abuse problems, or experiencing housing insecurity. Individuals coming to the library in search of information and connection to resources are also increasing, and often their needs are outside of our ability to provide support for. So we've partnered with local service providers to fill gaps where the library is limited or in how it can or should access. This includes Outreach Fort Collins, Homeward Alliance, and Summit Stone, which we're proud to expand those services into 2024. Also in 2024, we're working with CSU occupational therapy staff to provide support and assistance in our Old Town Library. When we started our strategic plan in 2022 and launched in 2023, one of the things we heard loud and clear from people in the community was a desire to engage in more civic and cultural experiences together. So we've really been leaning into that and trying to find ways that the library can be at the heart of our community and our civic engagement. This is everything from serving as a volunteer polling place to hosting Dia de Muertos events to support individuals on their path to citizenship. This photo is very recent, this month, at the CSU Democracy Expo. We are also continuing to champion the cause of intellectual freedom. Poudre Libraries made a public commitment in 2023 to champion the rights of individuals to read, seek information, and speak freely, as guaranteed by the First Amendment. After a surge of book challenges in public libraries across the United States, and that continues today, we wanted to demonstrate our dedication to safeguarding our community's right to read and access information free of censorship, bias, or limitation. While we do this work all year long, it was highlighted during the annual Banned Books Week last September. We had nearly 550 participants in various programs and events, including a Let Freedom Read event at the Lyric that challenged, it was a reading challenge, and we live streamed the event, and it was called Uncensored. Our collections are still very much at the heart of what we do as well. Many tenets of intellectual freedom, including the freedom to read, are directly connected to what we have available in our collections and make freely available to our community. We experienced a 15% increase in items checked out in 2023 compared to the previous year, and we're moving in the same direction this year with our checkouts trending higher compared to 2023. It's clear our community still loves to read books. Our collection of databases and digital resources also saw an increase in year-over-year use, showing the continued importance of access to trustworthy sources of information and learning. Poudre Libraries is proud to serve as a community platform for civic dialogue and connection. Our partnership with the Deliberative Journalism Project and monthly Scoop program is one example. We've also started a monthly Talk, Listen, Connect program at the Harmony Library that's designed to encourage people to meet new people and have conversations, and we often see local organizations and community leaders holding listening sessions in our meeting rooms. Very recently, we hosted Rich Harwood and his Enough Time to Build initiative, which brought citizens together to focus on civic unity, community strength, and a hope for a stronger Fort Collins in northern Colorado. Because Poudre Libraries is well-trusted and nonpartisan in our approach, many people feel comfortable coming to our libraries for these types of opportunities and to talk about important issues. So what's next? As you've probably noticed, many of the projects and programs we accomplished in 2023 have continued to evolve into 2024. The probably most significant thing that we're working on this year is a collaborative project to build the Southeast Community Center. This will be in partnership with the City of Fort Collins and with a lot of involvement from Poudre Schools to build a new library, recreation, aquatics, innovation center hub in that parcel of land that's just on the left side, the west side of Fossil Ridge High School. We're extremely excited about this, as this facility will help us address multiple community priorities and increase our collective impact. This is truly a generational project, and the impact will be felt far beyond when all of us are no longer in the roles we're serving now. We're really looking at a long-term vision for an accessible and sustainable community center that reinforces our desire for the type of town that we all want to be living in. A high-quality educational, social, and recreational opportunities will be embedded into this space. And the joint use facility is a cost-effective use of our taxpayer dollars and a long-term investment in the quality of life for our community. We continue to turn outward. The Southeast Community Center project is a perfect example of how we want to intentionally co-create an innovative facility alongside the community. We will be working with our community residents, our school participants. We want to make sure we have a youth voice strongly involved in the concept of this building. And we look forward to offering opportunities for lots of folks to participate in the process. We are also continuing to strengthen our partnerships beyond this building. As I mentioned earlier, some of our most relevant and dynamic ideas spring from our collaboration with impacted communities and partners. Developing intentional partnerships is one of the key focus areas of our strategic plan, and we'll continue to identify ways we can develop our partnerships that help efficiently and effectively meet community needs. The library's work is rooted in our mission, vision, and values as much as it is in our community hopes and dreams. Our mission is to create opportunities and build connections to strengthen our community. Our vision is to be a vibrant and essential center of learning, inspiration, and engagement. And I want to just say how proud I am of our library, our community, how grateful I am to be in this position, and how excited I am to continue this work in 2024 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. I imagine this would be an opportunity for comments or questions from my fellow commissioners. Commissioner Stevens, are there questions or comments that you'd like to offer?
I have maybe one question and then some comments. So Diane, when you go to those remote areas, first of all, thank you for being here. When you go to those remote areas or more remote areas, more rural areas, how do people get do they have to come back into town to return their books, or they can return them the next time Evie comes? So like Livermore, for example.
Yes, so we have special checkout periods and provisions for materials that are checked out with Evie, and we've learned a lot in the last year. So we're also working to figure out if there are ways that people can, if they can't be there that moment that Evie is coming back, that we have like a smaller version of a book drop that people can leave their materials in. We don't charge overdue fees, so that helps folks that may not be able to hit that, schedule as regularly as we would like. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for folks to bring their books back and to not have a barrier to having them check out the next batch.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding us that you don't charge overdue fees. That saved my family a significant amount of money.
You're welcome to make a donation.
I will.
On
I
behalf
actually should.
of the
I felt
fines
like
that you're
that
not
was my
paying.
donation at one point, but thank
Yes.
you. I appreciate that. Honestly, I'm better about bringing them back, and I wonder if people aren't. Have you?
We
is there
haven't
any
noticed
difference?
any sort of significant change in people's borrowing habits because of that, but we do know that people who were blocked because they had fines are now able to come back and use their library cards. In fact, the number of library cards that we have, active library card users, continues to grow and grow. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that it is more attractive to people to join and use their library is because there's not that threat of fines.
Well, then I will be making a donation since I
Okay.
do no longer make
Just
my
to
other
clear your
donations.
conscience.
Thank
Happy
you.
happy to help.
Appreciate that. I'm grateful for the work you do and your leadership. I think that you're doing some remarkable work here. I've been able to participate in some of the events like the Let Freedom Read at the Lyric and the Book Fest and Enough Time to Build. And so I really appreciate the programming that you do in addition to the ability to check out books without overdue fines. But I also really appreciate the work that you're doing in the social services department, because I know that you're seeing a significant amount of people in Fort Collins that are unhoused, and that provides additional challenges for your staff. And so I'm really glad to hear about the partnerships with Outreach Fort Collins and then the I guess Murphy Center or Homeward Alliance. So that's great, and I'm hoping that maybe we can find ways that we can partner with our human services programming too, because I'm sure people get to those resources, but maybe there's an opportunity to partner there as well. But really, just thank you for thinking about things comprehensively in our community. I love the partnership with Isaac and the fact that you ended up hiring someone for that from that program. So that's really great. So I just I'm a huge fan. I love reading. I always say that if people spent, if people went to the library once a week, I probably would solve all the ills in our society. But thank you for the work you do and for sharing what you're doing. And I would just say keep up the good work and let us know how we can help you. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Shaddock McNally?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Diane, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the great report. Thank you for sharing about the rebranding. Very striking, the colors, and really appreciate that. I've been watching some of those events and really excited about the Scoop and some of those other ones. Please keep me in mind for future invitations to come. Even if my schedule is full, I'd like to just come by and at least participate a little bit. I try to read every day a little bit, but I tend to wait till I close to bedtime and then I fall asleep. But
Same.
I tend to like my old favorites, but it's certainly. I have like everyone else, we have that stack of books beside our bed that sit there, and I kind of think they're kind of art now. So it's like pretty cool stuff. Happy birthday to Evie. As you know, I'm a super fan of Evie. Very excited. I was wondering if we could get some of those numbers or this report sent to us. I don't know if you've sent it, but I would love. Oh, yay!
Yes, we
would
do
love-
have a print version of the
Yay.
report to the community.
And just tremendous work. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
leadership. Thank you to your wonderful team. It's very apparent to me with the events that I have been at, like EV's kickoff, your staff and energy, they're so dedicated, so exciting, so excited and so invested in the community to help everyone who walks through those doors. And so just appreciate this opportunity to hear about all the wonderful work. I know you collaborate across the region with other libraries. It's really exciting to see libraries persevering and having that grit and determination to stay those safe spaces. And through the pandemic and through all these changes that we have gone through and that you guys have continued to be that pillar in the community, that safe space. I still have such warm, wonderful childhood memories of my library in Longmont. So I just want to just thank you, and thank you to every librarian and everyone who works in the library, because public libraries kind of store that information and history and energy that fuels the imagination and provides hope in our communities. Kind of open up the windows for us all to the world and to the community around us, and inspire our youth and all of us. I still love getting inspired for different things, to kind of continue to learn, to explore, to achieve new items. When you talked about some of the programming you do and the partnerships you have, everyone can always learn something new, and I love that. But more importantly, I think that continually year-round, in so many different ways, contribute to improving our quality of life for every resident, that opportunity. And I think libraries, all of our communities, they change our lives for the better, because information and having the freedom to read, I love that. It's really important to challenge us to think about things from other perspectives and books and those opportunities, and let us kind of explore other ways of thinking in other worlds. And everyone says, oh, it must be nice to go to the library. I don't think libraries are a luxury. They're very much an important part of our communities and just really kind of a pillar of our community. So I want to thank you all for the work that you do, and just excited to hear this report, and thank you for bringing some hard copies, and thank you. Appreciate it, and thank you all. Thank you. And hoping Evie continues to be such a amazing outreach for the rural communities. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, and then thank you for our partnership with the Discovery Packs.
Yeah.
That's been huge.
It has.
For people to come check those passes out. We've had, outstanding information. So thank you for your willingness to partner with the county on that. I think that's been tremendous, and I want to thank you for that partnership. Thank you.
Happy to do so. Thanks.
Yep, thank you. And you'll be happy to know that I will spare you and the audience from my library jingle that I sang
We so
when we
enjoy
had the
that.
proclamation a couple of weeks ago. Growing up, that's what we remembered, but I won't sing it this morning. I'm sure that the folks from the Loveland Classical Schools are disappointed, but oh well. No, I just appreciate exclamation points on what my colleague said. I think the fact that you've kind of changed the whole concept of library in many ways as a community hub, reaching out to all the corners of the county. One thing I like in particular that I'll make a bit of a plug for the county is that when you're able to come to our Larimer County Farmers Market, bring Evie, and we set up tables, and then the commissioners were able to do story time. That's one of my things that I enjoy most during the farmers market, which actually the one at the county one will begin Saturday, May 18th at 9 a.m. And I think possibly Commissioner Stevens, are you doing story time on that morning?
I am doing story time. I
What-
think I got picked first because last year I got the snow day in October and did not get to read.
So looking forward to that. But thanks for all the great work and for providing us with the annual report, and look forward to future opportunities to work together. And certainly the community dialogue work that you all do is really, really critical. And the recent event was, that portion that I attended was really
great.
very, very useful, very good.
That's wonderful. Yep.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and thank you all for your continued support. It's part of
Okay.
having a strong library is having strong leadership at the county and the city.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, well, we appreciate that. We'll move into discussion items. As I mentioned earlier, we'll switch the order a bit. And the first item is to announce and introduce the 2024 Larimer County I Voted Sticker Design Contest winner. And I believe that's an amazing young person named Julia from the Loveland Classical Schools. We'll have our esteemed clerk and recorder, Tina Harris, if you would come on up and provide us with the story and why this person won. And perhaps, Julia, if you're comfortable, you're more than happy to speak. More than welcome to speak.
Good morning. I am Tina Harris, the Larimer County Clerk and Recorder. And today, it is my absolute pleasure to extend heartfelt congratulations to Julia Dix, winner of Larimer County's first ever I Voted Sticker Contest. Julia is a senior at Loveland Classical Schools. And Julia, your exceptional talent, creativity, and dedication have truly set you apart. And it's an honor to celebrate your achievement here today. Your winning design captivated our hearts in the clerk's office and the community and encapsulated the essence of civic duty and democratic participation. Through your artwork, you inspired individuals to engage in the electoral process and provided an opportunity for the community to participate in ranked voting, which allowed the clerk's office to familiarize itself with ranked voting and gather information for future community education and outreach. I thank you for that. Thank you to the community participating in this selection. Your engagement is appreciated. The Elections Department is excited to share Julia's artwork with Larimer County voters in the 2024 general election. I want to thank all the participants who poured their creativity and passion into this contest. Each submission played a vital role in fostering a culture of civic engagement within our community. For that, you should be proud. Julia, as you share these stickers, which I'm going to give you in just a moment, with your friends and family and celebrate, remember, your journey doesn't end here. Okay? Continue to use your talent to inspire others, advocate for positive change, and be a beacon of hope in our ever-evolving society. So once again, congratulations on this incredible achievement, and may your future be filled with continued success, creativity, and a steadfast commitment to making the world a better place. Also, as I understand it, you are eligible to vote for the first time in this November election, which is awesome because you will get to display your own artwork. So thank you. for being such an inspiration to all of us. And what I would like to give you today is 10 of the stickers for you to use however you would like. And then also this plaque or this framed artwork for you to display. And probably as parent or grandparent will probably be part of their wall art. You're very welcome. Would you like anything?
Julia, if you're comfortable, it would be wonderful to hear a couple of words from you, only if you're comfortable.
I just want to thank everyone that made this opportunity possible. It's super cool to be a part of the inaugural year of the sticker contest. I want to thank my teacher, Miss Ansel, sitting at the back, for encouraging me to do this. It was kind of a last minute thing. I was finished with my painting project, and she was like, here's an art opportunity for a sticker. It'd be really cool if like one of the people in our class won it. And so I picked it up, and I was looking for ideas, and I looked at the Columbine flower, and I was like, that'd be really cool to draw. And so I did it, kind of putting it in the pile, not really knowing the odds of winning, but I won, so that's really cool, and I want to thank everyone who made it possible.
Wonderful. Well said. Thank you, Clerk Harris. Thank you, Tina. So before you head back down, I suspect my colleagues will want to say a few words, and perhaps Lorinda, just to thank you for your great work. And then once again, with family and friends, if you're comfortable, we typically like to do a photo op. Yeah. So let's see, Commissioner Shattuck McNally, anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. First, let me thank our clerk and recorder, Tina Harris, for her innovative idea. And the whole contest came from you and your staff. I think your staff brought this idea to you.
Yes, they
and
did.
your leadership said, hey, let's go for it. And I really appreciate you doing this, and especially before school got out. And I know that's also because you have to have these in for the envelopes. But that it was really cool that you use this opportunity to not only help folks practice ranked choice voting, but your staff to kind of test your systems that you have set up. Because I know you guys are all excited and all ready to have ranked choice voting coming for the next year with the two different systems that will be on the ballot next year. But I want to thank you for reaching out to all the different schools and allowing our youth, as you eloquently said earlier, have this chance for civic engagement and to really emphasize that voting is for all and it's really a right. And I think having our youth maybe look at the contest and having a chance to participate and think about what this means, and now thinking there's an opportunity that over 100,000 people could be wearing your sticker. That's pretty cool, and your artwork. So well done. Of course, I'm partial to columbines. I hike a lot, and I love purple, and I think columbines are a sign of spring and beauty and hope and renewal, but also resiliency, grit, and strength. Because we think about where columbines grow, not only in our gardens, but when I encounter them in hiking up in Rocky National Park, they grow in very rugged and hard to reach places, and they're gorgeous, and they are a sign of renewal in the spring. And so I thought it was a great segue into kind of our elections is always our chance to renew our civic engagement and our rights to vote, and our chance of renewal for voting for who we choose to be our represented leaders. And that's kind of a new sense of hope that we believe in our democracy and our systems and our country and our local elections in our communities. So I just really appreciate your design. I just wanted to say, as a graduating senior, I hope this inspires you to continue to stay engaged. Thank you to your teacher, your dedicated educators, and your family, because behind every great student is a great community of family and educators behind you that have encouraged you to do this. And I have to say, thinking of the possibilities of your future, somewhere inside all of us, inside of you and all of the graduating youth, is the power to change the world. And it takes someone who's willing to step up and try to make that change and take that first step. So I have lots of Swiftie fans in my house, but even though I'm going to quote Taylor Swift, it's not enough just to want change. You have to go and make that change by voting. So thank you for inspiring folks to vote. And so grateful for your participation, and thanks for being here today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Stevens?
Yeah, is it okay if I ask a couple questions? First of all, Julia, I was just wondering, are you going to continue your artwork into after you graduate from high school?
I think it will be more of a hobby than anything, but
Okay.
I hope to, yeah.
Okay, good, because you're very talented, and maybe someday it'll become more than a hobby. But yeah, wonderful. And then I was going to ask Tina. I actually pulled it up on the website, but probably too small to see. But it would be, I guess that's where people should go if they want to look at the design. I don't know if we
Yes,
can
so
hold
they
up the
can-
sticker.
they can go out
I have
to-
it here, but
larimer.gov/I voted sticker, and they can see the design. They can also take a look at how those votes were cast and how it was ranked. So
perfect, thank you. I think, yeah, that's great. And it does say I voted in Spanish, is that right? Does it say? Yeah, thank you. So I wanted to point that out. I thought that was a really nice touch. So congratulations, Julia, great work. It's a beautiful sticker, and I can't wait to wear it this fall, or I guess we'll start for the primary, is that correct?
no, this will be available for the November 2024
Okay, so everybody
election.
can look forward to wearing it this fall. And yeah, just thank you. And it was my first opportunity to participate in ranked voting, which was really fun. And I guess, the very appealing part as I looked through these many great designs, because I want to thank everybody who participated in this contest and everybody who submitted a design, was that it was hard to choose. And so even if you couldn't vote for something for first place, you could, vote for your second choice. And so I thought that was really that was a very appealing part of ranked voting. So I'm glad it helped your staff as well. So yeah, just appreciate the whole process was really fun. I think it was great for the community to kind of come together and do this, and especially involve younger people who are maybe going to vote this fall or soon, to understand how the process works and to be excited about voting. So thank you very much.
Yes, I'll just say a couple of things. First of all, thank you to Clerk and Recorder Tina Harris and your elections division team. I'd forgotten perhaps that the idea came from within your team's ideas, so that's wonderful. Certainly, Julia, for those of us who have been around the block a few times, seeing younger folks step up and do amazing things, it gives us hope, because sometimes it can be a little bit challenging out there. So thank you for providing us with a bit of hope. And frankly, it's very impressive that you were able to, with your design, your winning design, you were able to captivate the hearts of our clerk and recorder's office. I don't know how often that happens, but
You would be surprised.
so I think that's great, and I guess that's all I have to say. I want to say that I intentionally planned to wear this purple shirt to match the color of the Columbine at certain times of the season, but I think it was just a coincidence. So thank you very much, Julia. Well done. Thank you, Tina. And Lorenda, anything you'd like to share before we pause for a moment and invite the family up if they want to do a photo and all that?
I think you all have said it so well. What a fun idea. I think your
Fine
staff came
idea,
up with a really great way to engage the community. And Julia, your work is beautiful. It is simple and easy to see and easy to understand and just a lovely piece of work. So thank you for submitting it. It's even better hearing your story about how your teacher inspired you to do that. And we wish you wonderful things as you graduate.
And actually, in closing, I think it's wonderful that you'll have an opportunity to vote for the first time, and I would be willing to bet you will do your utmost to make informed decisions. Well, I think we can pause, and if you folks are okay with a picture, we can invite folks up. We have people from the media, from one of our favorite newspapers down on the other end of the county, and I'm sure we'll take pictures with our phones. Thank you. Okay. Welcome back, folks. We just paused for a moment to take some pictures. A moment ago, we celebrated a high school senior who won the I Voted sticker contest with a wonderful image of the state flower, the Columbine flower, Rocky Mountain Columbine. We'll now move on to our next discussion item, which is a proclamation, May as Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'd like to invite Laura Walker. Welcome, Laura, and your team. I'm sure you know the routine.
I do. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Laura Walker, and I serve as the Human and Economic Health Director for the county. And as a part of that role, I also am currently serving as the Interim Director for our Behavioral Health Services Department. And so it's really in that capacity that I'm here this morning. So nationally, May is Mental Health Awareness Month across the country. So we want to make sure that at the local level, we're acknowledging that and participating and showing our support from the Larimer County organization for this initiative and raising that awareness and reducing stigma in our community for people to have access to proper behavioral health care throughout the spectrum of what those different levels of service might look like. And so in support of this, I also have our whole behavioral health services staff team in the audience. And we also have John McKay. He is with Summit Stone Health Partners, and he is representing their executive leadership team, because this morning out at the Longview campus, where we have our acute care facility that is operated by Summit Stone in really a groundbreaking public-private partnership, we have the CEO and the executive director, so Michael Allen, their CEO, and the executive director for Longview, Dr. Leslie Brooks, are finishing what I hope, fingers crossed, is a very successful first audit with the Behavioral Health Administration that has been going on for a couple of days, and they are wrapping that up this morning, and so their presence here was not as important for us. Otherwise, they would have loved to be here for support of this proclamation as well.
Thank you, Laura. I think the way we'll proceed is we'll ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally to read the proclamation. We'll make the motion, and then we'll see what comments or questions we have. Then we'll act on the motion, and then I suspect we'll take photos again. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the honor of reading this proclamation. This is very important to me for a lot of reasons. As the chair of the Larimer County Behavioral Health Policy Council and many other personal reasons, this is important proclamation to read and for us to celebrate today. So I will read this 2024 proclamation. This measure recognizes May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Larimer County. We come together to raise awareness of mental health, promote resources and education, and advocate for mental health and well-being for everyone. Whereas 46% of Americans will meet the criteria of a diagnosable mental health condition sometime in their life, and half of those will develop conditions by the age of 14. Whereas Colorado ranks 37th out of 51 states with a higher prevalence of mental health issues and lower rates of access to care for adults and youth. And whereas almost 60,000 Larimer County residents reported poor mental health in the past year, and 47,000 residents did not access and needed behavioral health care in the past year. Whereas 42% of Larimer County high school students felt sad or hopelessness as they stopped participating in activities, and 46% felt their stress level was not manageable, and 20% seriously considered suicide in the past year. Whereas barriers to behavioral health care in Larimer County are identified as the cost of care, timely access to providers in their community, stigma around seeking help, and the lack of insurance coverage for services. Whereas access to necessary medication, appropriate treatment, care coordination, and responsive peer support helps prevent individuals from populating emergency rooms and jails, which are often the default locations for someone with acute mental health and substance use needs. And whereas creating a community where everyone feels comfortable reaching out for the support they deserve is crucial to ending the stigma around mental health. And therefore, the Board of County Commissioners proclaims May as Mental Health Awareness Month in Larimer County. As a county commissioner, or as county commissioners, we call upon the community members, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and school districts to commit our community to increase awareness and understanding of mental health, identify the steps our community members can take to protect their mental health, and advocate for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental and behavioral health conditions. Dated this 30th day of April 2024. And Mr. Chair, I move to approve the proclamation declaring May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month.
Thank you. At this time, colleagues, it would be great if you have any questions, comments. Commissioner Stevens?
Just a comment. Thank you, Laura, for bringing this forward. Thank you to everyone in the audience who's here to honor this month. For the folks, and many of us have had that, mental health issues with our family members. It's a real struggle. It's hard to figure out how to address it. I don't think that we do a good job of sort of recognizing it and addressing it in our families, or in our communities. And I think I'm just really grateful for the work that you've done, and the folks in the audience have done to really normalize this and make sure that people know that they can get help and that that's accessible, because I will tell you, when you're going through it, it does not feel like you can make it through the end of it. Just really grateful to just honor that work that's being done. Grateful that our community chose to prioritize this. I think a lot of communities want to know what we're doing, and so grateful for the people that are working day to day to really help families and individuals in our community find some peace and get better. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Shattuck McNally?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Laura, and our Behavioral Health Services team for being here today. You guys are boots on the ground, working hard year-round to increase access and to implement our behavioral health initiative and sales tax, and tremendous work for many, many years. And thank you to John McKay to be here representing Summit Stone and the work that you do in the community. It's been a pleasure to get to know you better, and I know Summit Stone and the Health District of Northern Larimer County and many others, Alliance for Suicide Prevention. There's lots of wonderful partners here in Larimer County who have been collaborating and partnering for a long time, for many years, to address this before the pandemic. We've been looking at this for many, many years, and we're fortunate that our voters, thank you, voters of Larimer County, for supporting our behavioral health initiative, providing us the resources to provide access to care and early intervention, and to bring hope. I think about the sculpture in front of the Longview Acute Care and Stabilization Center, and how it's a signal of the journey, they call it, and it's a signal of we're all one place, one time or another, in one of those positions of either needing a hand up or some help. Those who are providing the hand up or hope, and then the one that's lighting the way into our center, that there is healing and spiritual help, and people who care. I don't have a green jacket. I appreciate Lorinda wearing green today, but I did bring my little butterfly, a signal of hope, and my green button with the semicolon, and my other suicide awareness button today, because it is important that we reduce barriers, reduce the stigma, help with public education. And mental health has impacted my extended family. If I've lost members to suicide, and I was thinking about the numbers with our youth are just still out, just tremendously alarming. I commit to doing all we can and doing more, because we need to get ahead of this and get upstream and support our youth, or they'll have a long lifetime of trying to overcome some of these items. But we also have folks who are needing care. And I have to say, though Longview's had some tremendous success and a lot of great numbers, it's not the silver bullet. We still have a lot of work to do in our communities. And so I hope that all of our partners are working very hard, and I know we continue to collaborate. I know I kind of like this theme this year of this Mental Health Awareness Month. It's the goal for anyone struggling with the pressure of today's world, feeling alone, or wondering if they can feel better. This is where to start. And I like that theme of this is where to start. There is hope, there is a place to start, and there are plenty of organizations and that have been trying. Even this Awareness Month has been going on since 1949, and there's lots of media and events and places in places here in Larimer County that this is the place to start. This is where to start. We have lots of access points and a lot of folks. So go to our website, go to any of these agencies, look around you. There's plenty of people who want to reduce the stigma and be a sign of hope and show you this is where to start and how we can help you get there. So thank you for this proclamation. Thanks for being here today. And I look forward to all of the month's events and activities that will be following this proclamation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll emphasize a couple of additional points, if I may, and then I have a question for you, Ms. Walker. So, once again, my colleagues have said it well. Just put a couple of exclamation points on all of that. I do want to emphasize the partnership is really critical, and the taxpayers, the community based groups, Summit Stone Health Partners. I think the agreement that we have is very historic in terms of the county providing the oversight, the infrastructure, and ultimately the clinical services and all of that being provided by Summit Stone. I think that's a great model for others to learn from. So that I wanted to offer that, and also I wanted to mention that we're doing our best to build in transparency, accountability. I think there are at least 2 committees, financial oversight and quality assurance. Perhaps you could speak to that a little bit, Laura, that involve people with lived experience. I know that when I went out to the Longview campus a while back and went on a tour with our medical director, with Dr. Brooks, I was impressed to meet staff that a lot of emphasis on people with lived experience and having the credentials, the certifications and the licensures to do the clinical work, and a lot of emphasis on peer support. I think that's really great. So I think, did I want to say, my question. Well, if you wanted to elaborate a little bit on those committees that I mentioned and make sure I got the titles right, and also if you could say a word or two about the Behavioral Health Services Community Dashboard. I think we have one still on the Behavioral Health Services site, and it cross-references our Community Health Wellbeing and Resiliency Dashboard. And I think one of the things it shows in the suicide rate category is that we actually have had a bit of a drop-off in the number of suicides. So there you go. Good luck, Laura.
Thank you for your questions. So the 2 committees that you referenced are specific to the partnership that we hold contractually between the county and Summit Stone Health Partners for the operation of that acute care facility out at our Longview campus at Taft and Trilby. And so those 2 committees are focused on, there's one called the Fiscal Committee, and that is tracking the expenditures, tracking the reimbursements that Summit Stone is able to garner for the services for people that have various types of health coverage, and also then reporting those numbers back to our community. That committee has only met twice so far, and I would say that we're working our way through interpretation from the financial systems that Summit Stone is using to collect that information, and then translating it into something that would be really transparent and and easy for the public to understand. And so we're working our way through that. We don't have a model yet of exactly how that information is going to be presented to the public and to the other stakeholders, but we are working our way towards that. That is our ultimate goal. And also there's been a delay because, we opened in December of 2023. And it takes a good 45 days to get insurance reimbursement for services that have been rendered. So we've been playing catch up a little bit with that as well because it's difficult to predict what the revenues coming back in to offset our costs are going to be because we had that delay of not knowing until probably mid to late January, even those services on the first day, how much reimbursement we should be expecting. And then the quality committee has only met once so far. And again, we are kind of drowning in a sea of data points and trying to sort through which of those data points are going to be the most relevant to be sharing out with the public in an understandable way that are going to cover the interests of multiple stakeholders who all have a different view of what Longview should be accomplishing for the tax dollars that are being infused there. So more to come. But we do have folks with lived experience on that committee, and we had a very robust first meeting where we had lots and lots of ideas. So it's going to be a matter of funneling a lot of great brainstorming into something that's consumable.
Thank you. Can you say something about the community dashboard?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that part of the question.
No need to be sorry.
Pardon me. So yes, we do have behavioral health data outcomes for the community, and what we're trying to do as an entire organization is when we have information that the public would have interest in and that helps decision makers come to the best next steps for their programs, we're trying to keep that in one place. And so if the board recalls, in the last iteration of the strategic plan that the commissioners do on a 5-year cycle, we did establish the health, resiliency, and well-being dashboard that has its home on the main page for our Public Health and Environment Department. And then what we're trying to do is when there's related data that really feeds into those outcomes, we are having linkages on other websites so that we don't have silos of where this information lives that make it more difficult for people to access the full picture of how well our community is doing. But there is behavioral health information, and you're correct that based upon a percentage of our population, our suicide completion numbers actually have decreased over the last 5 years, and that's been very encouraging. And I think it speaks to the work already being done out in the community and the great partnerships that are happening amongst organizations to make sure that people are getting to the right place in time to prevent those suicides.
Thank you. And if I may, colleagues, just one last question, and then we'll see if Lorenda, if there's anything you'd like to add, and then we'll go to the motion, and then we'll take pictures. My other question is, would you say a little bit about the impact fund grants and that process? Because we're on the cusp of the month of May, and I believe that application process will begin in June. So it's important that folks know a little bit about that, where they can get more information, and that not only are we working with Summit Stone on the the facility, the acute care services facility, but also trying to get resources out into the community. Could you say something about that, please?
Absolutely. So this is going to be our 5th year. This is our 5th year of infusing investment into the community for the purpose of enhancing behavioral health services. We do that through our Impact Fund grant program, which is a competitive process that opens in June, as you mentioned, and has applications collected until the end of that month. We already have had scheduled several informational webinars, I believe are already scheduled. And I see Jessica Plummer, who is our program manager for the Impact Fund grants, is nodding at me as I give correct answers about the program that she so successfully coordinates for the county. And so there is information available on the Behavioral Health Services website. So larimer.gov/behavioral health services should take people to the main page. And there's lots of information there. There's FAQs there. There are the information about those informational webinars and technical assistance that is provided by the staff. Even if it's a small nonprofit without a lot of infrastructure maybe, who's never applied for these grants before, there is help available to walk them through the process.
Lauren, again, not meaning to belabor, but your Lifeline person is standing up. I'm wondering, did you want to say anything? No.
I think it was if I were not successful in accurately describing the program, she was ready to come forward.
Okay, I think we got that one covered. So thank you very much for answering my
Yeah,
questions and providing
of
some more
course.
insight. Lorinda, is there anything you'd like to ask or add, please, before
I
we?
think I'll just stress again that
Thank
the
you.
reason we do these proclamations is to draw attention and to normalize things like mental health that we call behavioral health in our community. Even in a community like ours that did pass a 0.25% sales tax addition to fund behavioral health, there's still a need to normalize the fact that behavioral health is health. That we have an acute care center because behavioral health is health. If you think of it as urgent care, we would certainly go for a cut that we couldn't get to stop bleeding. We would go to urgent care. We would do the same kind of thing related to behavioral health issues. That's what this facility is for. And I guess another shout out and thank you to all of the many partners and volunteers, the people with lived experience, the people with technical experience, the county staff, the elected officials from across the county who participate in our policy council to help make sure that we make these decisions with a broad approach. We do need to draw more attention to this and make sure that people understand help is available. There are lots of ways to get it. There's no one place you have to go, which is why we fund the impact grants to help provide services and expand services that already exist and are very well accepted across the community. And thank you all for the work you do every day, for Summit Stone, for the county staff. This is a team effort. This is not something one organization could solve, and it's important to continue to draw that attention. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Lorinda. So, colleagues, there's a motion on the table. Before we act on it, any further discussion? And that is to approve a proclamation for the month of May. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. We'll pause for a moment and we'll take a photo. Okay, we're back. We just took some pictures, approving a proclamation declaring the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll now move on to the next few items on the agenda. We have the county manager update. County manager, I believe that's you.
I'm ready. A couple of highlights from last week. So I meet regularly with the managers across the county. Last week, I had the pleasure of meeting with the Fort Collins and Loveland managers. We typically will coordinate what the county's doing. We have lots of projects we work on together, and so it's always a pleasure to talk to those two folks. Like you, I attended the Human Services Children, Youth, and Families Awards event on Friday, and I'll let you all talk more about that. It was certainly a touching event. It's great to see those folks who do some of the most difficult work recognize each other, provide peer support, and have a little bit of fun in a pretty rough job. And we're very grateful for what they do, because I don't believe I could do that job. They certainly do it with a big heart. I also attended the annual Center for Family Outreach Breakfast. It's a great community event, and to see support for that cause. I think Lori Kilth said there were 10 more tables this year than last year, which is a testament to the work that they do to support the youth in our community. And I know you all were at that as well. And then finally, you all hosted the regional elected officials meeting last night, and I think you each will touch on it, but I just want to say what a great opportunity it is to think regionally and to really appreciate each other. It's hard to have difficult conversations when you're talking to a stranger, and so these kind of events that allow us to talk to each other and to meet each other under better circumstances make dealing with some of the harder issues that come up a little bit more effective and a little bit easier. So thank you for your participation, for supporting that. It's great to get those started again, and the next one will be in October, and so we'll look forward to that one as well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Lorinda. We'll now go on to the commissioner activity reports. Commissioner Stevens, would you like to begin, please?
Yeah, I'll be brief since we have a busy morning. Just wanted to, if I had a theme for last week, it would be, wanting to recognize all the folks that do such great work around our community. Lorinda mentioned the Center for Family Outreach. They do great work to help young people get on a better path. They have partnerships with most police departments in town, the sheriff's department, and they are taking kids who might have normally maybe gone down the wrong path or ended up in in some kind of juvenile facility, and really change their lives through therapy and art therapy and other ways. They also operate the Teen Activity Center on Mountain, so if any young people haven't gone to see that, that's fantastic. So really grateful for the work that they do. The library hosted Rich Harwood from the Harwood Institute. He talked about reclaiming the public space and civic dialogue, so grateful to the library for making space to have these really important conversations in our community. Of course, want to thank all the people that work in child protection and child, youth, and family division. They had an all-staffs award assembly on Friday, which we were all able to attend, and they do some of the hardest work in our community, but they keep families whole and together, and they help children and families heal. That is remarkably difficult work that they do, and they maintain their sense of humor and their teamwork and their positivity and their hopefulness in this space. So just really grateful to see and honor them with those awards. And then on Saturday, just La Familia, the Family Center, had a Belong open house, and the work that they do to make sure that young people have good, high quality, affordable childcare, that families can afford this childcare, and that they can, La Familia Family Center is not just a child care center. It's a center that provides resources to a lot of Spanish-speaking people in our community. So it was really a wonderful celebration there again. People who deal with some very difficult situations who really bring a lot of hopefulness to our community. So just grateful for our community partners. Thank you for mentioning the regional meeting last night. It was great to see all our local municipal elected officials and be able to have dialogue with them, and just wanted to congratulate all those people who are reelected, because we got to see some new faces last night. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Shaddock McNally.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank again Diane LaPierre and the Poudre Libraries for bringing that report today. Mr. Harward also went to the Loveland Public Library and had the same discussion, and so it's great to see that that is a regional opportunity. And I know some folks in Loveland really appreciate having that discussion as well. So it's great that that's happening throughout our communities. And last week was a lot of events showcasing the work done for helping folks in our communities, our youth who might need a little extra help and support getting back on the right track. Also, victim services Rights Week was last week, and so again, I just would mention the ATV Purple Ribbon Breakfast that is really important, and they did some other activities throughout the week. I was really glad to be at that breakfast. One of these days, I'll have to stay a little longer because we have to come here for this morning breakfast. But to hear directly from the crime victims and how they have retaken their lives is really inspiring for me. And I want to thank again ATV for a wonderful breakfast. I also went to the Center for a Family Outreach, and I appreciate Lori Kilth and our partnership with the Center for Family Outreach as the county commissioner supported kind of some of that gap funding for the Teen Activity Center, and they invite us over for some of these events. And I know looking to expand those if possible throughout the county, and I think that's really important that all youth have a third safe place, safe space. And it was really great to go to that breakfast and connect with law enforcement, our school boards, a lot of community partners, and a lot of folks to connect with and strengthen our partnerships as we really work to serve our youth and make sure that they have the resources they need. And then I jumped on my Colorado State of Colorado Forest Health Council, as you all, folks may not know, serving as the legislative chair. We had a presentation on some of the Leveraging Resources Committee, which I'm also on, but we approved our 2025 legislative priorities, which is not even done with the 2024 legislative session. But we have some, not as long of a list as last year, but some pretty focused legislative priorities regarding workforce capacity and workforce development, and looking at how do we get youth to look at forestry and some of these wildfire mitigation opportunities as career, and maybe hopefully looking to increase paid internships. There is a huge need, and a lot of these folks stay on and continue into jobs. So it's important, and we might be looking at working and talking with CSU Extension and how we can partner. So very excited about that. Appreciate the Economic and Workforce Development Center providing us up to their taco social. I went up and participated with our assistant county manager, Lori Cadrich, and it was a lot of fun. We got to hear about some of the activities they had done, and it was nice to socialize and just hear about some of their work. And they had cookie bake-off competition, which was cute, and I love that because it was really discussions on the finer points of these cookies. So I thought that was great. We had our Equity, Diversity, and Inclusionary Advisory Board, which 3 of us are liaisons. So we met in Loveland. Lots of great discussions still in their work plans, and they shared about their meeting with the Fort Collins Human Rights Commission and how they appreciate that dialogue. And I just want to thank them all for their service. We have a very small and very mighty group that continues to show up and work hard, and I want to thank them for their service. The other things happening last week is we have CCI and still legislative session is taking a lot of our time and attention. There's some late bills that are just maybe not always the best things for counties, so we're very involved with that. So a lot of meetings. I raced up to Estes Park to have a community conversation up there at Kind Coffee. I had quite a few folks show up, and they're talking about land use and services for seniors and the new Estes Park board. So that was interesting to have all those conversations, and then came down for our Regional Opioid Abatement Council. And we have approved our last of our agreements for 2024. And out of the 2 years, colleagues, for the $2 million the first year and $2 million this year and some change, we have got all that money out the door, but $800 into services and activities. We've had some great reports. I will, if you remind me, I'll try to forward you the latest one from some of our agencies. It's a long, hefty report, but it shows you the outreach into the community and serving those in need with this opiate abatement crisis and fentanyl crisis. We have a great partnership with our 3 school districts, but I know my colleagues care about housing, and this year with the allocations, we have done vouchers for sober living and housing. And with one of those groups is going to increase housing for women specifically, and some outreach and services into the southern part of the county in Loveland. So I thought my colleagues, knowing that we're all big on finding appropriate housing, I wanted to share that a lot of funding went to that, and also to help expand some of the housing up at Harvest Farms. So I wanted to share that. We had the National Crimes Victims a group center. That was a lot of fun to celebrate some of those folks. And then we had our my Open Lands Advisory Board, which had a lot of just the long-term budget outlooks for the next year, and looking at 5, 10, and the history of the sales tax. I won't go into much detail about that, but that is something I'm going to dig into a little deeper. And then I appreciate being invited to go to the Career Rise team graduation in Loveland and be able to speak and celebrate with those graduates, 57 of those graduates from our Economic Workforce Development GED program. And the families came, and then they had a chance to celebrate and thank all the tutors. And well done to Mark Johnson and his team, Tanya, and all the folks there. Appreciate the nice touches they did to kind of make this graduation for these families and these students special, and really nice to be at the Rialto. I attended with my colleagues the Child, Youth, and Family Division All Staff Awards. It's humbling to see folks who are so dedicated to protecting and taking care of our family and our youth, and trying to provide more kinship care and the things they do to break the cycles of poverty, and just some amazing work that they do. It was called Camp Hope, and there was a theme for that because they are kind of following the science and power of hope out of the University of Oklahoma, and they've steered me to some of the TED Talks from that gentleman, and very inspiring. Really appreciate the science-driven, data-driven kind of approach, but I really love the Camp Hope theme, and appreciated being able to participate with all of that, and well done, everyone. It's a busy week. I was bummed we didn't get to do our live burn air curtain burner, but the rain is welcomed and the moisture. It was fun to be at the Laughing Millie Open House with my colleague Commissioner Stevens. We kind of crossed paths there a little bit. Wonderful organization, Gloria, Kat, and a lot of the board members, Sam and Vanessa, and just lots of great folks. It was just fun to see the kids interacting with the families. Bless you. And just the joy, and Commissioner Stevens stated it well. It's not just high quality childcare, but also the services and culturally appropriate care and services they provide to that community. Wonderful organization, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and celebrate and support them. So very excited for all of that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to share. We the regional elected meeting. I guess I have one more thing I want to share is I appreciate all the folks that came out. We had, I don't remember how many, 40, 50 people, 70. Thank you. 70 people, lots of new faces. Congratulations to all those new faces that won their elections and those who won re-election. We had pretty much someone from every municipality from our county. I think we almost had the entire town of Johnstown town board there, which I don't think has happened before. A lot of them hung out and took tours. I want to thank our presentations, Mark Pfaffinger, Brianna Harmel, and Chad Krager for broadband. I forgot his name, Carmazesio. I think he's assistant chief, or he's the emergency manager for Loveland Fire Rescue Authority. And I'm sorry I forgot the gentleman from City of Fort Collins, but they wonderful collaborative presentations on the work that we do together. I think that was the theme, that we're better together, and showcased all the things that we work and do together. And Chris LeMay from the Department of Local Affairs came. We had a lot of representation, and a lot of folks hung out for the tours. I hung out for a while, and they had lots of great questions, and just really we're excited to be able to do that. Great idea, Lorenda, to have some of those back behind the scenes tours of our ranch in the Blue Arena. So really enjoyed that. Thought it was well done, and congratulations and thanks to all the folks that worked so hard to organize that. And thank you, Lorenda, for a job. It was really well done, and appreciated that opportunity to connect with all those folks. It was a fun evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. A couple of other things I'll add quickly, and then we do have a legal matters executive session. So last Tuesday, I attended the grand opening of an affordable housing development, Northfield Commons, which is 84 units, rental apartments. Mercy Housing is the developer. They work closely with Housing Catalyst, and the land was donated by Landmark Homes. So it's a real great collaborative effort. I believe that the county provided some private activity bonds a couple of years back through Housing Catalyst. So we had a small part to help with the financing of that project. It's 84 apartments, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. They'll be serving folks making between 30 to 60% of the area median income, and they provide a lot of amenities and support services. One thing that is unique about this particular development is it's within walking distance of Old Town, and they highlighted that there's a bus that stops out front, but they can also walk into town and participate in the amenities of Old Town. In the evening, with our Climate Smart Future Ready program manager Heidi, we attended the ASCSU, their Environmental Affairs Department Sustainability and Community Roundtable. It was a nice event. We would sit at a table, students would move around and ask us questions, and we'd have some dialogue. So that was great. I did attend the North Fort Collins Business Association meeting on Wednesday. It was nice to connect with folks again, and then I was glad I was able to make it over to the breakfast for the Center for Family Outreach. In the evening on Wednesday, this was also a great event. I attended the Livermore Fire Protection District Appreciation Dinner at the Forks Cafe, and it was really great. The Sheriff's Office was there, a variety of first responders, community members. It was just a really lovely evening. I did take a picture, but I haven't shared it yet. And that was great. Thursday, we were up at Red Feather Lakes. Actually, it's not reflected on the calendar, but I also went with some community members to the DU Mountain Campus to explore their health clinic there. That was one of the ideas regarding addressing healthcare needs up in the Red Feather Lakes area. It was a very productive visit, and I think ultimately the community members decided that based on what their needs are and the college's needs are, that might not be compatible. So that we made that conclusion, but they still have a lot of good ideas. And actually, it's not mentioned, but they were able to get a $46,000 grant, and they'll be setting up a telehealth area in the Red Feather Lakes Community Library. So that's moving us forward. I'm glad to participate in the roundtable with that fellow Rich Harwood. It was really we were in a circle, and one of the people from the community mentioned how it was kind of healing to be in such a circle and be able to listen to each other. Attended some of the other stuff. I think that's all I want to say. I'm done. Thank you. So we have an executive session. We will be making a decision, so we'll go into executive session, discuss the matter, and then we'll come back out and we'll have a motion. At this time, I'd like to ask, I think, Commissioner Stevens, if you would offer the proper motion to move us into executive session, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that this board go into executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6, 402-4B, conferences with an attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding U.S. District Court Case 24 CV 588, Greg Schreckengast versus Powers et al. Oh, yeah.
You got it? Great. I believe that's a proper motion. Good stab at the pronunciation there. And so any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0. We'll go into executive session. Thanks to the League of Women Voters person. Have a nice day. Welcome back. We had an executive session to discuss a legal matter. We'll be making a decision. There's a motion. We'll turn it over to our deputy county attorney to give us a brief summary.
Certainly. Good morning, Commissioners. David Ayer, Deputy County Attorney. We were in executive session. Just briefly, the issue that we were dealing with was a lawsuit filed by Greg Schreckengast alleging violations of civil rights associated with a March 2nd, 2022 DUI arrest. He alleged unnecessary force in association with his DUI arrest on that date. So we are seeking the board's approval to defend and indemnify the 3 individuals who are county employees in this matter.
Thank you, David. Colleagues, do you have any questions or comments? Then Commissioner Stevens, please offer the motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I move that the Board of County Commissioners authorize the county attorney to defend Ethan Powers, Elias Gonzalez, Michael Reardon in their individual capacities in Larimer County and provide full indemnity to them, including punitive damages in the Greg Schreckengast case, U.S. District Court Case Number 24CV588, and further move that Bruno, Collin, Goddard, and Lowe, P.C., be retained as co-counsel.
Great. That's a proper motion. Colleagues, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. I believe we've completed our business this morning at 11:02 a.m. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you.